An esteemed 600,000 mortals live in Melbourne in the year of 1919. The nation-building exercises connected to Melbourne being a brief capital city, and its gold rush had ended. While such deeds were undertaken, rapid urbanization and industrialization challenged ordinary people. Injuries in factories were common, and the working class areas' air and water were often polluted with chemical runoff. Each suburb had its respective gangs that controlled sly grogs, offering cheap booze past daylight hours. Such was the time that a reporter noted regarding the masses.
Melbourne is practically given over to him on Saturday night, and with his family, he fills its bright and busy streets almost to the exclusion of every other class. He crowds the theatres, he throngs the shops, he and his legions are in the cheap restaurants.
Housing conditions were often cramped, with many families living in small apartments or terraced houses. Transportation in the city was largely by horse-drawn carriage or tram, with cars and buses still relatively uncommon. The city's streets were often crowded with people and animals, and pollution from coal-fired factories and homes was a major problem. The Spanish flu that wreaked havoc in the trenches of Europe hit Melbourne with the returning soldiers. At the turn of the decade, it continues and will eventually claim 50 million people worldwide. The worries of the Great Depression were years away, however. Their origins began now. Indeed, Melbourne of 1919 was one of the stagnant growth compared to prior years. The richest suburb in Melbourne in the early 1900s was Toorak, home to many of Melbourne's wealthiest families, including business magnates and politicians. On the other hand, the poorest suburb in Melbourne in the early 1900s was Carlton. Many of the streets in Carlton were narrow and dark.